Hi, I'm interior designer Julie Fergus, and my guest today is Jerry Boysen of Lake Winnipesaukee Home Theater, who has a showroom in Center Harbor. And we are sitting in a project that we did together for one of my clients where we retrofitted the area to increase their electronic capabilities, so to speak. We increased the TV size, the sound components, and we have added wireless electronics. And Jerry's going to explain about that a little bit in more detail. So Jerry, you want to explain the latest technology as far as bringing all the electronics together?
Well, the biggest thing, today is convenience. So everybody wants to have everything that's available today, but the problem is for a lot of people is operating it and how easily can it be operated. You've got multiple devices, like in this house they have Apple TV, they have a smart TV. So, the backbone of the system is your router and your service from your cable company that provides the amount of speed that gets to your modem, that gets to your router. So if you don't have a new router that can handle all the streaming, you can look at it as a traffic jam is happening, it'll get clogged up, devices will run slowly, you'll see the little spinning wheel, and when that happens, there's a good chance you're going to need a new router. The new routers are AC routers, they're called, and they're the fastest routers available, and they allow video streaming capacities that were never available before. So in order to run all your games, all the phones and laptops, the number one thing to make sure of is that your backbone, your router, will handle all the devices that are being run in your home.
So how important is internet speed and connection with that? Does that take into...
Oh yeah, that's all. It's all part of it, but the key is today a lot of people have these routers that they've had for years, and when they first got them, they were only handling a couple of devices. And today, there's so many things that are being run. The technology, it's just time to upgrade. It's part of the electronics industry. They're always creating an upgrade so that things run more smoothly. So that's really the basis of anything before you think about, if I'm going to do a new system, am I going to get a new TV or multiple smart TVs and PlayStations and whatever you have in the house. You want to think about the router capacity, and then you want to think about how, if you're doing a project, what exactly is going to go in what room, and you want to make sure that you've figured everything out so that when you pre-wire it, if it's a remodel and there's, the walls are down and you're ready to run the wires, you want everything to be pre-wired and multiple zones to be done, so that if you decide, hey, later on it'd be nice to have a pair of speakers outside, you might think about a Sonos system. You can control everything from your app on your phone.
And you say that because you've had that happen where people don't think they want to expand, or they're not going to want that additional TV somewhere, but you've seen it because you've had to come in and add them after the fact. So that's why you would suggest it to someone as their part of the planning process. It's kind of like
future-proofing. If you run a set of wires outside, if you have two decks up and down and you think, well, I don't know if I want music out there, but if you ever do, you can just simply add a pair of speakers. But if the wires aren't there, then now you're talking about all kinds of labor to retrofit the wires just to get a pair of speakers there, when it could have been, really inexpensive at the beginning of the project.
Okay. And I've asked you this before, or requested this. A lot of my clients want it to be visually simple, less wires, less speakers and things like that. So you've said that the sound bar has really improved the offering for that. So you want to explain that a little bit? The benefits of the sound bar?
Yeah, the big thing, the sound bar came along
which we have here.
When the TVs got smaller and smaller. So as the TVs got thinner, the speaker capacity of the TV just diminished. They just sound, they sound tinny, they sound terrible, and people, spend a lot of money on a TV. You want to get great sound, but they didn't want to do a whole surround sound system, put speakers in the walls. So the soundbar comes along and it increases the sound quality you know, leaps and bounds over the TV speaker, and it's a simple installation. It looks nice, and it can be put on the wall or it can be put on a piece of furniture, and you can have a subwoofer with it to get some bass.
And we did that. We put it in the wall down here.
Yep, in this case, we built the subwoofer right into the wall because they didn't want to put a box somewhere on the floor that most subwoofers are. Aesthetically, people don't like that, so you can mount the subwoofer right in the floor between the floor joists or in the walls between the 2x6s or 2x4s, whatever happens to be there, and solve, you know, an aesthetic solution that's very important to the designer and the customer.
We're always beating Jerry up about that.
Yeah.
But it can be done. We did open some sheetrock here and had the electrician run some wiring. So there is some mess that is required or necessary, but it can be done for a nice simple look like this. All the electronics are in the piece of furniture as well, so that's an important consideration to think about. Make sure your piece of furniture can handle all the electronics, as we have probably about 3 or 4 different devices in this piece here.
You want to make sure
They
fit first. If you
And the
choose
wires.
a cabinet that's not really an audio cabinet, you can do that. You just have to make sure the components fit and that they'll stay cool.
Right.
And that there's an airflow, and then we do what's called either an IR kit or an RF kit, so a remote control can operate everything in the cabinet.
I'm going to interrupt there. The IR and the RF, you can explain that, whether it's the IR, you actually have to have the beam hitting it.
Yeah.
The RF for radio frequency
All right, very good, Julie.
you can go right through there. See, we use that same technology in
Yep.
motorized window coverings.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
the radio frequency just gives you so much more flexibility. So
Yeah.
you can have this be a covered door and still operate your electronics instead of having to be open. So
Yeah, and today you can have apps and you can have a remote control, you can have home automation and everything controlled from one device or multiple devices in your home, and operate lights, sprinkler systems, the shades, you know, whatever you want to operate can all be done.
Right. So let's wrap it up there. We're trying to keep it simple and short for our guest interview speaker. So this is Jerry Boysen from Lake Winnipesaukee Home Theater. He has a website, and I'll provide a link below this video. And contact Jerry or myself if you have any home electronic or home theater projects you want to tackle. We'd be happy to assist you.